What's going on, Raiders? Doolum here, and today we're going to be going over Fire Night. So right now there is a Fire Night tournament going on, and this is for a part of the fusion that is running for Titus Blackplume. Obviously, got to get to 2,250 points to get all of them needed. Right now, you see I'm at 1,452, so I have been grinding a good amount, but I am running low on gems. So I wanted to give you guys a good strategy for getting through Fire Night as efficiently as possible. So, but first, make sure you're clicking that download link or scanning the QR code to get Karato Fox Hunter. The second you start the game, an amazing legendary nuker. At level 10, you're going to be getting Tagore, an amazing epic support character. At level 20, you're going to be getting Fane, who's got some incredible turn meter steal, as well as some pretty crazy damage. And then at level 30, you're going to be getting Vergus, who's a defense-based champion, to help keep your other characters alive. And then, this is super important, day number 1 within the first 24 hours of making your Raid Shadow Legends account. Type in promo code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong, one of the best free legendaries they have ever given. And if you're on iOS, make sure you're clicking a different link in the description to type in any promo codes. On stage 21, I haven't even tried stage 22 actually, but I've been farming stage 20 because stage 21 is a little bit of RNG just because of the affinity and stuff like that. So I've been farming stage 20 a bunch, and the way I've been doing it is very, very specific. So the main goal with Fire Night is you want to make sure you have a lot of multi-hitters here. So right now I have Duchess, who's a multi-hitter on the A1. I have Supreme Gaelic, who's a 4-hitter on the A2, a 2-hitter on the A1, Kale, who's a 4-hitter on the A3, a 1-hitter on the A1 and A2, and then Alice, who's a 2 to 3-hitter on the A1 that's conditional, right? So the big thing for Fire Night, especially if you want to auto this, you gotta use the team setup to make sure you got the presets ready to go correctly. And this is very, very important here. So when you're in the team setup here, you make sure you have your team all picked out, and then you click this little icon here. Then you're going to go into it, and I'm going to show you guys what I have as my setup. So for Lysandra, for round 1, she can use whatever she wants. For round 2, she does not use her A3, and her A3 is going to be placed as a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns, fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%, and decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 30%. So making sure she's going to have this up. And what I actually can do, instead of don't use, I could use opener and use this as the first one. Then after that, I can put to don't use so that she can use it for round 2 in the beginning, but then after that, don't use it so that she can get it back by the time the boss comes, because I want to make sure she has it up for round 3 and has that up and ready to go. So then at round 3, going against the boss, she can use anything. Now, for Supreme Gaelic, he can use anything on round 1. On round 2, I don't want him using his A2. On round 3, I want him starting with his A2 because that A2 hits 4 times. So we're trying to get through that shield very, very quickly. Now with Alice, she can use anything except for the A3. Anything on round 2. And then on round 3, she's only going to use her A1 to start, and then she's only going to use her A2 when it's available. She will never use the A3. And I don't want the A3 because the A3 does not help me in any way. The A2 does help me because I do have the turn meter rewind by 15%, so that can help control the Fire Night a little bit better. Next up, we've got Duchess. Duchess can do anything all 3 rounds. It does not matter. She's got great a double hit on her A1 that places a shield. She's got the block debuffs and an increased attack buff on the A2, as well as a perfect veil. And then the A3, she's got the revive as well. So awesome. And then, yes, I am still using Kale. So Kale here, very, very important. I do have the A3, and pretty much anything can be used on round 1. The A2 I took off. Now for the round 2, I did take off the A3 because I want him opening up with that. I want him using this as much as possible. I'm going to put opener as well because I want to make sure he's always using the A3 whenever he can, because that hits 4 times. Super, super important. and I want to make sure that is getting through the shield. And then the A1 does have a chance of rewinding, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it doesn't. I thought it did, but I guess not. So that's the team setup. So we hit save here, and then we go in. And what's going to happen is we go through the waves a little slow, which is why it takes as long as it does. But once we get through the waves, I'm going to come back to the boss so you guys can see how it works. All right, we are back. So we are on round number 2 right now. We're getting through this wave content pretty quickly. It's only been about 2 minutes, and honestly, not too bad. Some of this wave content can take a while, especially if you don't have someone like Seer to just delete this wave content. That can be definitely really tough here. So saving some cooldowns, obviously. Like I said, I want to make sure I have the Lysandra A3 to use the second we start the boss battle. The Supreme Gaelic A2 with that multi-hit. The Kale A3 with that multi-hit as well. And then Alice obviously going to use the A1 as a starter to make sure that goes off as quickly as possible to get through the shield as quickly as we can. So making sure we're getting to that. And here's the boss now. So we're going to start off with the Lysandra A3. Then we're going to hit with the Alice A2. You see there's 8 left. Now we have the A2 and then the A3. And now the shield is completely gone. Now what happens is Lysandra was going to hit with the A2, but it ended up getting resisted, which is interesting. So a little bit of RNG there, but that's okay. So maybe we can end up getting through this still, but again, there is a factor of RNG to this, so there is going to be a heal out here, which is pretty unfortunate. Usually this does not happen. Usually it's a lot cleaner than this, but things can obviously go wrong, right? There's RNG, there's lack of accuracy sometimes, but most of the time I'm able to get through this pretty quickly. Looks like Lysandra's going to get to the A3, get a good turn meter rewind, and then we might be able to salvage this, especially now that we have a decreased speed on him, and then the A2 did land to reduce that turn meter all the way. So making sure your accuracy is very good on your turn meter rewinders is very important to make sure they're able to control. Now what's going to happen is he's got the decreased speed up on the top here, and then we're also going to be rewinding and speeding up our team, so he's never going to take another turn. And that's pretty much the essence of Fire Knight, is getting a quick control, a bunch of multi-hits to take down the shield. What happens is when you get to higher difficulties as well, you can use sets that call ally assists as well because of the sets, and also kits that call ally assists. So technically you could have like, remember the fat dude that I pulled on my last shard opening video? He's got a great ally assist, so he's great in here because he pulls in people. So I could pull in somebody that has like a quad hit on the A1, pulls them in, he's gonna quad hit on the A1, then the fat's gonna go, then I'm pulling in somebody else. So manipulating to see who's going on when and what your turn meter looks like based off of what speed you have, what characters you're using is very, very important. But you have to get down that shield as quickly as possible, or you are not going to be landing any debuffs on him. You're not going to be doing turn meter rewind. You're not going to be doing anything. So you have to get through the shield with the multi-hits as quickly as possible. And again, that's the main reason why I use Kale here, because he's got a 4 multi-hit on his A3, the 4 multi-hit on Supreme Gaelic, A2. Alice, not only does she have the 3 multi-hit or 2 multi-hit is conditional on the A1, but she's also just a great character. She's got turn meter rewind on the A2 as well. I got the 5 red from her from the calendar event as well, so that helps out a lot, and she does a lot of damage. But you see, it's just controlling him, and then I just sit here and I just let it whittle down. So I get through this usually in about 5.5 minutes, but we did have that little issue in the beginning of the resist, so did not have that go in my favor in the beginning, but it does look like it is working a little bit better now, which is nice, and still getting through it in a little over 6 minutes. So I'm actually curious to see if this will work on a harder difficulty or not. So I actually do want to try the Magic Affinity next, because I'm curious to see if I can actually go a little bit higher here and maybe even farm a little bit better, farm a little bit faster, and not use as many gems, because Lord knows I'm running out. But you see, this did work out very well. Got 37 tournament points from that. Got some boots, no primary speed on them. So nothing too crazy there, but let's see if I'm able to do stage 22. I am going to turn super raids off, and I think that's very important when you are testing to see if you can get further in a dungeon. Make sure super raids are off so you don't waste that energy. So we're going to start, and we'll come back once we get to the boss. All right, coming back. It does look like we got through the wave content. Now, I will say I did watch this, and it got to a point where I think they were doing like health transfers, and my entire team was dead except for Duchess, and Duchess just barely revived everybody. So this may not be the most reliable, so I might need to tweak this a smidge because, yeah, this was close. All right, so it's a 12 hitter now as well, and on the shield, which is interesting. So I might need to change up to make sure Duchess is going to use the A1 to make sure we're getting through the shield as quickly as possible, because if not, then we might have an issue. We did have Lysandra just die here, but we do have the decreased speed on him now from the Supreme Gaelic A3, which is great. So we might be able to fully come back around here, actually. And get a rewind, but it looks like he's going to get his shield back up. Alice not doing the A2 when I needed her to. I think he's dropping the increased speed now. Yep, and then Lysandra ended up going. So I might need to tweak this a little bit to make sure Lysandra has the accuracy, because it seems like an accuracy issue is what I am facing right now. So I'm going to change up the build a little bit, and we're going to come back into that. So let's see if I can give more accuracy to Lysandra, because that is a problem. Because if he didn't resist that A2 hit, then I would have been fine. So let's see where we're at here. Accuracy. Let's upgrade these. Let's enchant, and let's put more accuracy here. 8 hit, that's good. Let's see. What's her accuracy at? Her accuracy is at 277 now. Okay, so it's actually pretty good. Let's put more accuracy here. Enchant. I can put accuracy. There it is. I was going to say, I have to be able to put accuracy. 5? Absolutely not. I'm not going to low roll. 7? We're pushing our luck. We're pushing our luck again. I'll do one more. Just kidding. I'll do one more. A 9! All right, perfect. So that landed. Awesome. We've got no sort of accuracy here except for the banner. So maybe we can end up filtering this and primary stats, and we can put accuracy. I have another banner that's the same thing. Can I do substat accuracy maybe? All right, we do have accuracy here. Maybe I end up putting this one on instead. And get this rolling. So let's see. Let's take this up to level 12 and see. We did get some accuracy. Okay, let's take it up to 16, I suppose. We do have the gear enhancement event going on right now, so that's fine. All right, so instead of 19 accuracy, we're going to get 32 accuracy here now. So let's equip this. Let's move this over. No, I don't want to activate the gear removal. Stop it. Stop it. Fine, I'll activate it. Leave me alone. All right, so let's put that one on. So now we have more accuracy, which is great. So maybe now I can end up using that. I might end up putting like maybe some perception on Lysandra to make her a little bit faster as well. So we might end up seeing. So let's see. Let's go over here. Let's go back to dungeons now, and we're going to start running through this again, and I'm going to see if we can get through this. We're going to get to the boss, and then I will come back. Actually, no, we need to change this. We need to change this, because if Duchess didn't use her A1, we would have lost for sure. So let's go here. Let's do team setup. Let's go here, and then let's make sure Duchess is using her A1 on the opener in round 3. Now let's get into it, and I will be right back at the boss. All right, coming back into wave number 2. So you're seeing I am struggling a lot here, but what's going to happen here is Duchess is going to carry me. She did just use her revive right before I hit record here, but Duchess gets a bunch of speed based off of dead allies, like up to 24, because she's got that mastery. So even if everybody dies, it doesn't really matter, because she's just going to continue staying alive and doing a bunch of stuff. And then guess what? She's reviving. And now everybody is back and ready to fight, which I absolutely love that about Duchess. She is so good with a team-wide revive, the perfect veil, block buffs. Like, I could not be happier with my Duchess pull because I have used her in every single dungeon, and she has been paramount in every single dungeon, especially places that have hard wave content like this, or even like in Ice Golem when the boss just decides to do 2 attacks back to back because of the health trigger, and then the big hit back to back, and then taking the turn. Like, the fact that I can survive through this is just a testament to how good she is and why I'm booking her before anybody else. So we are coming back in here. We've got 12 hits on the boss, 10 now, 6 now, 2 now. Duchess with the last hit, and then we need this rewind to land, and it did not once again. So another accuracy issue, unfortunately, coming in from Lissandra. I've really got to bump her accuracy. I may end up putting like perception gear on her to be able to bump that up a little bit, because that is not good. If I get that bumped up, I can definitely do this, but that will probably be something that I'll have to figure out, because right now, yeah, I'm just getting deleted. So I'll have to figure that out. Maybe I'll end up getting some perception gear on her and be able to push a little bit harder, because unfortunately, not working well. And a lot of that is probably because of the affinity. So she is going to be Spirit Affinity going into Magic. So she's got to have a lot more accuracy to be able to pull that off. So that's probably one of the issues that's happening right now. But I will continue tweaking the build. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Got some good advice from this and how to make it a little bit better. Make sure you got some turn meter rewinds, a lot of multi-hitters, and make sure you're starting off Raid Shadow Legends the best way possible with my download link or the QR code. And make sure you're starting today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, Raiders.